And the idea is, hello Rob. How you doing?
Good, man.
So the idea is the best thing to do is not rat out your opponent. It's to be nice to your opponent, and then you retaliate for whatever they do. So if they're nice back to you, then you'll be stuck in a loop of being nice, right? So it penalises a bad person, but it will reward good play and it will keep it locked in it. So people can find strategies that are better. So as societies, we can learn not to use violence. And if the violent strategy ends up as worse for everyone, then the societies can learn to be less violent. And in fact, if we look at the history of violence throughout the world, there's been statistics done on this, and we find the world is getting less violent. Yeah. So societies could be learning better strategies, right? And so we can be moral without God just by learning better strategies for how to live.
You're saying that if we took a random bunch of people, the Mr. Average best strategy is be nice.
Over long term, not necessarily initially.
Now, I've got one chance to live. I've got one chance to live.
Yeah.
I'm big, I'm strong, I've got weapons, I've got money, I've got friends, I've got everything. Yeah. What's to stop me murdering anybody?
The only ability to stop you will be other weapons.
I think my brother's missed the point.
Right.
So there's no. You're arguing if you get 10 lives.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You're not society. You're just you.
No, he's asking. I'm in the middle of a conversation.
I've had one conversation for a while. I hate to interrupt. Sorry.
There's a possibility it could be more pragmatic to just to bully your way around.
Yeah.
Let's ignore that possibility for now. Let's take up the possibility that we're not worried about how pragmatic it is.
Yeah.
We're just worried. Let's say you have the possibility of bullying your way around, and you take it.
Yeah.
What makes that wrong?
I say what makes it wrong is your moral instincts.
So let's say you don't have one. If you're saying,
But then nothing will tell you that it's wrong. If you don't have moral instincts, you won't think it's wrong.
That's why a lot of people are going out.
My brother,
Yeah.
he won't do it
how
because
does
God
God-
tells him it's wrong.
Right. But hang on. If God told you to kill, would you kill?
Is that yes?
You would. Right. So it seems to me that you're not really in a different boat to the scenario that you said. You're basically saying if God tells you to kill, you will kill.
Correct.
Right. So and what can I do to convince you otherwise? Nothing. Right.
Is it? You
Right.
convince me
So
that
what's
God
the
didn't tell me to
difference?
kill? Is it? You convince me God didn't tell me to kill? Or
How would I do that?
Is it? Well,
Can I ask a question? It's related. Why would God say it's bad to kill?
What is it?
Why? If you're saying that you don't kill because God says not
I don't
to kill, why
pretend-
does God say not to kill?
I don't pretend to
This is the
understand. God.
urethra. The urethra.
No, but what is his reason for saying killing is bad?
I don't.
And if that's his reason, why can't we deduce that reason for ourselves?
I don't know the reasons of God.
Because he's God, and he does that which is satisfactory for him.
You ask me, you sit for that answer.
Well, the problem is, it's like if you're doing stuff because God says so,
Right.
how do you know if that's good or not?
Again, right, because
His definition of what is good and
Just
what is
because
not
he's
good.
God. Well, how do you know God isn't actually?
But I
involved?
could create a definition of good, which is my moral instinct, couldn't I? And then I'd be in exactly the same boat as you, and you wouldn't have an argument here because you've just defined good as what God says. But I could define good as what my moral instincts say. And what's the difference?
Why should I trust God? What are you
Well,
asking?
why should you trust God?
Why should I trust God?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why should you trust God?
Because God is somebody who's never lied.
How do you know?
He's never lied.
How do you know that?
Really? Didn't he say to Adam and Eve, if you eat the apple, you'll die?
And they
But
don't.
they didn't die.
They
They didn't die when they ate the apple, did they? They didn't die of eating the
They
apple.
did that.
Okay.
If I said, if you read that book, if I said, if you jump up and down, you'll die, and then you jump up and down and you don't die, of course, 50 years from now you might die, but you didn't. It was nothing to do with the fact that you jumped up and down.
Again,
No.
You're asking God to now speak in your have it your way. You're trying to be God, play God. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to interpret the text as best as I can.
The advantage of discovering a way of living without God, the advantage of that is that you can change it.
Okay,
Is it?
that's your claim.
You can
But the
improve
fact is that eating the
and if
apple.
you come
But
across
if God's
something that
system's
didn't work out,
perfect, if God's system's perfect,
Okay, but the evidence is
the
that
way to
no
if you
primate
if you
has
start
ever
at the
lived
point where
forever,
you're
even
saying
before
God's system
him.
is
saying?
perfect,
Therefore, that
change
makes
it.
it unreasonable.
Why would you want to change it if you're saying it's perfect?
You
straight
cannot
up?
find a single
How do you know
primate,
it's perfect?
or even a single.
Nature, God has
again, right.
So you're following.
You're 5, 7, 7, 8 years.
So you think the Earth is how old?
5, 7, 7, 8.
What?
5,778 years.
That's the age of what?
of the universe. Everything you
universe?
Everything you know. You say, you count up all the years in Genesis, school we're going down to.
Okay.
So that's good from God.
You say?
That's from God.
When
Right,
God
so here's a
created.
good example, right? So you're saying the Earth is 6,000 years old because God says so.
Correct.
Someone who's a secular,
Correct. So that
would say it's 4.5 billion years.
correct. Okay.
No, that's the.
So how
the-
do you
the
know
Earth.
which one is going to be right or not? If you're saying
So you're asking me how do I know God said it, or you're asking?
Well, there is.
No,
so if
I'm
one
saying
says
how do you know which one is
13.8
actually
billion,
true? There's
and
only
the other
one
one
that is
says
actually true.
5,700.
You're saying I'll say it's 6,000 because God says it's 6,000.
Right.
That's one way of saying that's the truth, right? That's one way. The other way would be to explore, the scientific method, right?
Now,
Which has come up with 4.5 billion years.
Right.
It's very different.
correct.
How do we know which one is the truth?
So now, if I know God told me something,
Which is the better method for discovering the truth?
well, if God tells me that's obviously the best method,
But
right?
how did God?
Oh, how do I know that God told me?
But that's not the part of the truth.
problem with that
That's just going along with something that someone else
basically
said.
saying I'm going to
and you're
ignore
not.
all the evidence.
No. Do you mean
There's not trust involved there. But
How do you know that the
How can
Torah
you
was given to you
ignore-
by God?
Oh, ignore evidence.
all the evidence
All
that
right.
says
So now the
maybe
evidence.
the
Let's take
evidence
carbon
is-
dating for an example.
You know, only apparent.
Carbon dating is an example that we get.
Okay,
50,000
maybe
this
Revelation
tree is
is-
50,000 years old. Do you know how carbon dating
Maybe
works?
that's an illusion.
Okay. Right.
you're
So
saying
carbon
the
dating
evidence
assumes
is 8,000 years ago,
yeah, there was a tree.
how can you not say that the evidence of your religious belief is not an illusion? Maybe the entire universe is only 1 second old, right? And all our memories are just, like the tree rings you said, right? That's possible, right?
I think the starters had the exact same problem.
Sorry?
I think the starters had the exact same problem.
Well, exactly.
I think
it's
that's
not-
where I am. That's all I know.
No, but you can, right, exactly. But the point is, if you're saying, I'm going to ignore the evidence that's in front of me, because the evidence could be an illusion, and it could be, I accept that. But the problem is, that will undermine every belief that you have, including your belief in God. Because the evidence that you have for God, whatever the reason you have for believing in God, could be an illusion, right?
The idea there is that it's not that the two rings are an illusion. The two rings are real.
No, but their age, the fact that they're indicating an age is an illusion. When I mean illusion, it's not unreal. The word illusion doesn't mean unreal. The word illusion means misperception. It's different to what it appears. The underlying truth behind it is different to what it appears. So what it appears is that these tree rings are indicating the tree is thousands of years old, right? But you're saying that the appearance is deceptive. But that makes God to be a deceiver, doesn't it? He's deceived us into thinking the universe is at least 13.8 billion years old. And that makes God to be a deceiver, and he told me that God never lies. Right?
That makes it Jacob, that's a really good question. One at a time.
All right.
He knows much more than I do, right?
Why is Battle of Hastings history?
why is it history? What do you mean, why is it?
Why is it not a belief? I believe it.
You can believe it as well.
Well, okay, but why is it? Well, you're sure it's.
You mean what makes it a fact?
Yeah, why is it a fact?
Well, there's the historical documents, the evidence.
Meaning that you have.
It's overwhelming.
Correct. Meaning you have evidence from the time.
Lots of different kinds of evidence.
Correct. Meaning, but if I say I've got evidence from God's appearance at sun.
Well, I would not want to look at that evidence.
Correct. So now I have a document which has been transcribed again and again by millions of people, and it's not been badly transcribed because we know all around the world we've got the same document, right? And millions of people say their fathers had this document, and their fathers had the document, and their fathers had the document. Yeah.
But the original document could still be false, right?
You say, but if we have 5 million, let's get everybody in this park together. Together, we're all gonna write a document together. God just came right over here.
No, but you could have one starting document that's false, and then other people copy it.
Right.
So the number of times you copy it doesn't make it true, right?
The amount of time you copy it does not make it true. The problem is the first document. If the first document says, we the undersigned, we the people in Speaker's Corner, we'll know who they are, right? Say we saw God now over here, standing on that chewing gum, right? So now, is that a lie? If you saw that document, and all these people were here saying we saw this.
Well, you saw what though?
We saw God.
You saw, but how do you know what God looks like?
You say?
How do you know what God looks like? In order to say you saw God, you have to know what God looks like.
Right.
Right? So if you don't know what God looks like, you can't say that you saw God.
Correct.
You don't even have to go that far. I mean, just because someone says something is true doesn't make it true.
Correct.
There are
Correct.
alien anecdotes. There are people who think they see Elvis all the time.
Meaning you've got categories of
People
evidence.
are fallible.
Correct. categories of evidence.
So where does
What's your name, by the way?
Let's
Vatala Fontaine.
Salel.
Salal.
Yeah.
I'm Phil, by the way. And your brother is
Yakov.
Yakov.
We've got a drunkard, rapist, murderer.
let's just go straight to the Bible. Let's forget about
I want to show
Hey,
you.
actually, hang on. Can we just? There's one point that
Salel. Salel.
Bitalel. No.
It's a T and Z is one.
Bisalel.
Like pretzel. Same.
Okay. He has a question that we were discussing, and you said that God never lies. And when we asked about the age of the universe, he said, well, it's only apparent. Yeah. Do you believe that? Do you agree with your brother? Is this your brother?
Yes.
Okay. So do you agree with your brother on that question?
That what?
That the age of the universe appears to be old, but that's a false impression. Okay.
Right.
Now, the question that I had for your brother here was that would make God to be a deceiver, because he basically is deceiving us into thinking that the universe is old. All the evidence looks like it's old, it's 13.8 or at least 13.8 billion years old, but that he's given us false evidence.
Okay.
And that would make God to be a deceptive God, would it not?
Let me put you in a time machine. You're now in the Garden of Eden, standing next to Adam.
Yeah.
He's just been created.
Okay.
And he's walking, talking, eating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How old does he look to you?
Well, if he's I don't know. It depends on.
He's just been
how it
created a
is.
second. It's just been created a second ago.
But when I see beings created, they usually are.
No, you didn't see the creation. You saw, but you saw. He looks like a full-grown.
Okay,
man.
it can look like a full-grown man.
Right. Now, if you go to a tree, you've got a nice big tree.
Yeah.
And you cut open the tree.
Right, and you see the tree rings.
How many rings?
Well, it could be right. But those tree rings are an indication of age.
Correct.
Right. So what you're saying is that we've got evidence that would you agree that at least it appears on the surface that there is evidence the universe is billions of years
which seems
old?
up.
Okay. So either they're actually correct and the universe is at least billions of years old,
Right.
or God has given us false
mature
evidence.
Immature.
False evidence, though, that it's mature. He didn't have to make it look like the universe was 13.8 billion years old, did he? But he has done.
Why would he do
Right?
it?
So if he did it and it's false, if he did it and it's, but what I'm saying is, it appears to be he's giving us evidence of something that is not true.
God didn't say this is my evidence. God created
No. But you're saying that the photons that we get from distant stars,
Right.
God created those, correct? Yeah? So he could have created evidence that the universe was 5,700 years old, right? But he didn't. He gave us evidence that the universe is billions of years old.
He did create evidence. The evidence he created was when he came and revealed himself to man and outside. That's pretty much the best evidence we can get.
Where does that come from?
Where does that come from? So let's look categories of evidence.
Just tell me where that comes
I want you to understand. Sorry, it's long-winded, but it's just complicated. It's not. You know what I mean?
So
It shouldn't be
maybe I think they're having why don't we
That's the thing.
chat whilst they're chatting, because I think it'd be hard. So my point was, that it seems that God appears to be cruel in the
Why does it
Torah.
have to be so?
Yeah? Let me give you another example. Let me give you another example.
You make assumptions based on pain. Now
Yes, I am making that assumption,
Now
yes.
God is behind all this physics.
Yes.
And let's say he is as bothered by you as possible to 15 pain as you are.
Sorry, say again?
Let's say he's as bothered by as possible to 15 pain as you are.
Yes, yes.
So he can anesthetize those fish and let them die without feeling any pain.
He could do that. Right. Is there anything in the Torah that says that he did do that?
You're right, there isn't.
Right. So why should we believe that that happened? I mean, that seems like something you've invented to get God off the hook, and it's not in the text. Now, presumably, God knows the future, right? Because he's omniscient. So he knows this will be my worry. And he knows that I'll turn against Judaism because of this. Because when I was a teenager, I grew up Jewish, I was mitzvah, and I believed it all. I was actually the most devout one in my family. When they were eating treif food, I was praying to God, saying, please forgive them. Right? So I was religious. But eventually I came to the view that God was cruel, and I lost my faith. So God could have put that that passage in there saying, don't worry, Phil, he needs to touch the fish, they didn't feel any pain.
I want to see where this leads.
Right? But he didn't do that. Why didn't he do that?
Think about how it was looked to millions of people between
whatever reason.
then and now.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine I'm not the only person that has the view that God was cruel.
But most of the people who viewed that passage viewed it without bothering to think about fish.
That's right, because in the past people were cruel. We've evolved as a species and we're now more empathetic than we were in the past. And people, that to me, that's evidence that it's just a mythology of people in the past, and it reflected their moral concerns. And they didn't have moral concerns for animals, and we do, because we've got better. We've learned as a species, right?
There are issues with all these animals.
Yeah, I'm not saying there aren't. I'm just saying.
But this always focuses on human beings being deliberately cruel to animals.
Right, but what I'm saying is, not only is God cruel to animals, he also commands cruelty to animals. So, for example, in Joshua, he says, right, there's this passage where he says, "Hough the horses of your enemies." And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I didn't know what that means. I know nothing about horses. So I had to look it up. And what hough the horses means, it was a tactic used in ancient battles, whereas the horses would be on chariots, and it says, "Hough their horses and burn their chariot wheels." What they would do is they would slice the Achilles tendon of a horse, and the horse would collapse, and the tactical advantage of having chariots would be lost, right? And God commands the Hebrew armies in Joshua, it's Joshua 11:6, I think, he says, "Hough their horses." Now God, being God, could have just put the horses to sleep, and the tactical advantage would be lost, right? He could have just disabled the wheels of the chariots, and then the fact the horses are running around is irrelevant, right? But he didn't do that. He commanded them to slice their Achilles tendon, and that makes God could have, he's omniscient. He could have done anything. He could have just dipped his fingers, metaphorically, and had the horses disappear from the battlefield and reappear 20 miles away, right? Then that would have been no pain to the horses. But instead, he picked something that is extremely painful for a seizure, right? And it would have been terror for the horses, because then what he says is, you then, once the horses' hooves have been houghed, you set the chariot's wheels on fire. So you know that animals are terrified of fire. So there they are, immobilised on the battlefield floor. They can't walk, and there's all fire around them. It'd be utter terror for the horses, right? And God commands that terror, when he could have just, they could have opened the ark and disabled the wheels of the chariots, or put the horses to sleep and have them wake up, without any pain a day later, right?
That's extraordinary. My brother knows far more than I do.
No, but you can think for yourself. Come on.
I agree. It sounds horrible.
It does.
No, not because.
And that's why I turned against my faith. I'm like, it is a reflection of an ancient culture that may have been better than the surrounding cultures. Maybe they were, right? But it's still a reflection of the fact that it's an ancient culture that was brutal and that lacked empathy for other sentient beings. Yeah? You see what I'm saying? Like, take the flood. God says he's going to kill every single animal.
That's different. Yeah, I'd be more interested. I'd be more.
And why didn't he do it quickly? I mean, do you agree that the idea of kosher food, what I was told by my rabbis, was we kill them quickly so they don't suffer, right? Yeah, that's the idea. That's what I was told by my rabbi.
What we're bothered by? Are we bothered by animal suffering? Are we bothered by us causing animal suffering?
If God causes it, or even if God just allows it. I mean, even if he doesn't cause it, the fact that he allows it to happen. If you allow suffering of your children when it's unnecessary, when you could stop it seems to me to be you're not perfectly moral, or not perfectly powerful. So God is supposed to be both. He's supposed to be perfectly moral and all powerful. So if he's not, see what I mean? If he's all powerful and all moral, then how can it be that he allows so much suffering? And not only allows it, but one commands his Hebrew armies to commit it, and also commits it himself. Like in the flood, it's 40. It takes 40 days.
This is a question, my brother.
All right. Well, maybe we can get him back.